A mid-morning update on the stock market relative to the post-CPI inflation report trade. I'm Rich Poss for Critical Point. It's 10:04 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, February 12th. Let's look at the daily chart of the S&P 500 futures. We can see it come down. Now that the cash market's opened up, we're seeing a little bit of bargain hunting there, a little bit of buoyancy. What the model is suggesting is, I made a statement of the market will probably bottom before 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That seems to be something that comes up quite often. I wanted to let you know in the futures, it does not have to do that. I'm throwing that out. The model's now showing the market could bottom no later than, say, 1 a.m. Eastern Time tonight, the overnight trade. Put it under a microscope, it's saying it probably ought to bottom no later than around 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. today, Eastern Time, overnight trade, okay? Now, what we then do is bringing into today, it can bottom at any moment now, all the way into overnight for futures market. But the point is, the door is open that it could be a down day, all right? So next, and do keep in mind, I'm still looking for a level 3 down move into next week. Level 3 are the larger moves. The level 4s are just pops and drops day to day. Let's switch to the S&P 500 cash. Now, for the S&P 500 cash, we have something a bit different. It's saying the level 4 should bottom no later than today. So if the market were to close on the low end of the day, then you might see the futures go a little bit lower overnight, but in theory might be back up by tomorrow's day session, so that it shows the market actually bottomed today, that the futures just had a little lingering leftover selling. But the futures can coincide with the cash today, and both bottom today. So let's keep that in mind, all right? Cash market is saying if it's just normal business, if this isn't a panic kind of move, when a level 4 bottom will not work and the market just keeps going low over the next few days nonstop, then really we probably will see a bounce by tomorrow for the stock market, and it ought to bottom today for cash. It just doesn't have to bottom today for futures. It could bottom during the night and still be up tomorrow to be in line with the cash market. With this gap down today, I would say yes, you have people saying let's put it back up, and for the moment it looks like people are saying, okay, I really wanted to sell it, but the overnight market put it down so hard so fast that I think it's already dialing in this CPI inflation report. People are kind of overreacting. I think this is conversations that the market is having with itself, okay? Meaning they might be willing to buy it instead of sell it, but they might still have an attitude of selling any pops. They just don't want to sell it at today's lowest price, okay? So it may pop up, fill this gap, it may bump its head on the 5-day moving average, and then start down. And if it starts to take out the current low of today, which is at 6,003, then I think they're going to target the 40-day moving average of 59.90, and maybe even the 50-day moving average that's probably lower, okay? So that's what you want to watch out for. It can stay down all day today. Intraday-wise, yes, it looks like it can bottom sooner. Did it bottom right here at the start of the day? It's just very difficult to say, so I don't have much insight to help you with the day trading and the interweek move. All I can say is I think the market will pick its head up tomorrow. It doesn't necessarily have to bottom right now and go higher into tomorrow, okay? I would look around 11:30 to see how the market's behaving, see if there's any clues. I would look around 2 o'clock to 2:30 Eastern Time, see if there's any clues. Some traders like to follow the first hour, so at 10:30 they'll be reassessing things of what's going on, and then quite a few traders look at the first half hour of trade, and so they're looking at it right now. What did it do by 10 a.m., okay? So that's what I wanted to just give you an update of what's going on, that I have to throw out the 1 p.m. Eastern deadline. There is really no deadline until, say, midnight tonight or 1 a.m. or something like that, or 10, 11, something like that, for the futures. And the point is, the cash really doesn't have to bottom to near the close. We could have a down day today. All right, now let's talk about the CPI inflation report. So this is the CPI inflation report. I got this off the FRED system from the Federal Reserve, and I told it to do a 1-year percent change, rate of change And as of January, it went to just about 3%, which is what the news said. You could argue that's not really all that high a level of inflation. You could argue it's just creeping higher. And so therefore you can make an argument that the selling we saw this morning might be a bit of an overreaction. However, we're now in an uptrend that's basically just non-stop rallying higher inflation 1, 2, 3, 4 months now, almost methodical that every month they're increasing that rate of inflation. Prices are moving up at a faster pace. And it's a significant enough turnaround, in my opinion, to wonder if something more significant has occurred here, and I'm already forecasting higher inflation perhaps into next year. So this is working, so it does bother people. It is bothering Wall Street. Now, President Trump come out and said he wants lower interest rates, got to get to work on it, and he said for a while that he believes free market can lower interest rates without the Fed, regardless of what the Fed does. He's just saying, let the Fed do whatever they want. I want lower interest rates. We're going to get lower interest rates. Well, I don't know if he can cause it, but he does have some weight there. But if you look at it, the interest rate market jumped quite a bit this morning off of this report. I think the trends have turned around going higher. I also think what's causing this is the bond market probably doesn't like Trump's comment, because if he's lowering interest rates, if anything, it can help make inflation go higher still. And I think what he's saying, he doesn't care about the middle class and poor spending more at the store. He wants to get done what he wants to do. Okay, so these are also negative factors in the stock market that we must consider. At any rate, interesting, just such a methodical, linear trend here. That's a bit odd. Okay, but I really do think that there's higher inflation coming later this year. I think the stock market woke up to that a little bit here this morning, and it doesn't mean we're going to follow a straight line. Keep in mind the stock market really so far this year has been trendless. Sure, they knocked it down in January, they put it back up, it's really done nothing, it's moved sideways. It can't seem to move to a record high. There's a wall of selling or sellers there, okay, that they're willing to sell if it comes near that record high. But they're unwilling to sell, and just keep beating it down. There's no panic mode. I think they're trying to wait to see how things develop, but they're also nervous. They'd like to lighten up over time just in case something breaks to the downside and it got a sharp, sudden drop. The bears, that like to bet on downside, don't appear to be doing all that much. As well. They're just kind of nibbling at it on the rallies here. And we've really been trendless except for the January drop. We've been trendless since December, where the market is just trying to monitor things and not make any big bet on any major move in either direction. I think we're getting to a pivot point, perhaps, that it's time to pick a trend, meaning I don't think sideways moves are trends. I say you only have uptrends, downtrends. A lot of people will argue me about that, but I think we're getting closer to where it's going to want to pick a trend, and I think that trend's going to be down into March. I think the level 3 is down into next week, but with this gap lower, I can see why somebody's going to try to put it up some, and maybe that'll encourage some other buyers, and really we're still locked in this sideways move of trendless. So we may even yet learn that the drop this morning was rather meaningless information, but I still feel like we're getting closer and closer to establishing a trend, and I think I'll stay with my idea right now of lower next week and lower by March. Past results and not scientific future results. Have a great day. Thank you.